Hey everybody, Sean from Media Assault here. It's time once again for another movie review, and this time out I'm doing the Book of Eli, starring Denzel Washington, Gary Oldman, and Mila Kunis. And this was a film that was released in early 2010 theatrically, came out on DVD the summer of 2010, was directed by the Hughes brothers, who some of you may know from a couple of movies called From Hell, Menace to Society, Dead Presidents. This was actually their first movie since From Hell, which was made in 2001, so it took them 9 years to get another movie into theaters. This is yet another post-apocalyptic movie, and we've seen quite a few over the last year or so, particularly with The Road and Stakeland. This is different enough, though, to merit a viewing, I would say. I'll be real evasive with the plot because I don't want to give anything away, but basically the character Eli, which is played by Denzel Washington, has been charged with carrying this book across what used to be the United States, and he is taking it, he doesn't even say exactly where he's taking it, he just says he's taking it west to some place where it can serve its purpose. And along his travels, he runs into a character named Carnegie, who is played by Gary Oldman. And Carnegie wants the book, and he's actually been sending people out into the barren wastelands to track this book down. And when he realizes that Eli is an educated man who reads every day, he realizes that he probably has the book that he's looking for. Mila Kunis plays the daughter of Carnegie's girlfriend, who is played by Jennifer Beals, and Kunis's character is named Solera, and she sort of becomes a reluctant partner for Eli in his travels. And the movie just basically is the battle between Carnegie and Eli for the book. And that's all I'm going to say about the plot. The movie's direction is really cool. The cinematography has that sort of overexposed, burned out look to it. The movie almost seems like it's in black and white a lot of the time. The desert where Eli is traveling and where the town that Carnegie runs, it almost reminds me, the movie almost reminds me of like a Western. There are a lot of Western elements to it, right down to a showdown in the street in one sequence. The soundtrack is really effective. It's done by Atticus Ross, who some of you may know teamed up with Trent Reznor to do the soundtrack for The Social Network, for which they won an Academy Award. And this one is not quite as spectacular as that soundtrack. That's one of my favorite soundtracks in the past few years. But it's really an effective soundtrack. I really liked it. As far as the performances go, Denzel is sort of a combination of, he's sort of a kick-ass version of himself. Denzel Washington tends to come off as being one of the most likable people in Hollywood, and this character is likable, but he also has the ability to go from zero to badass in 2.5 seconds. And that's kind of cool. There are a lot of action sequences in the movie that are well done and probably the highlight of the direction. A lot of action sequences today, especially in mainstream movies, tend to be put together, it seems, in the editing room, or they're real choppy, you can't follow them, you have no idea what's going on. Here, everything is really fluid. It's kind of refreshing to see action sequences where you can actually see what's going on. So that adds to the badassery of Denzel's character. Gary Oldman makes for a fine villain, although he's not particularly campy or over the top or anything like that. He serves his purpose well. Mila Kunis is good. She probably looks better than she acts in this movie, and I know she's capable of decent stuff, especially after seeing Black Swan recently. But she's not given a lot to do here, but she does what she can with the part, and you know, that's all we can really ask her to do. And Ray Stevenson is in this, and if you don't know who he is the guy that played the Punisher in the Punisher Warzone a couple of years ago, probably the best thing about that movie. And he does what he can with his part. He's sort of one of Carnegie's henchmen in the movie. So everybody's sort of, none of the performances are standout. They're all pretty pedestrian. But the combination of the personalities involved, the script, the editing, the action, the direction, the cinematography, and the soundtrack, and the Book of Eli is probably better than it deserves to be. It just winds up being a movie that really captures your attention up to the end. There is a twist at the end which may win or lose some points for some people. For me, it actually made me want to recommend the movie. I think it's worth seeing. So I would give it a 7 out of 10. I'm really stretching it for the 7, but I'll go as far as to give it a 7. With the full realization that this is not a fantastic movie. It's better than it deserves to be, but I liked it, so I'm going to recommend it. So check out the Book of Eli, and as always, feel free to check out all my other videos here on the Media Assault channel, and if you like what you see, please subscribe. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Take it easy.